Super Nintendo Entertainment Center don't believe the power. You will believe the control. Experience it for yourself. The next generation from Nintendo. Now you're playing with superpower.
Welcome back, Super Nintendo collectors. Alex here with another video. How you doing, guys? Sorry this video's gone out a couple of days late. I've been away in the New Forest, enjoying a bit of sunshine this weekend. And it's been absolutely fantastic. Nice to get away, actually. Went down to Swanage, which is a beautiful part of Dorset. Checked out the arcade down there. Nothing of interest in the modern arcades these days, unfortunately. But had a lovely time on the beach. Walked around the old town centre. Absolutely amazing. So I'm a bit behind with this video, a couple of days late, guys. Sorry about that, but just no reception down there for me to even reply to any of your messages, even on the last video. And I really do appreciate that, guys. All your lovely messages, unbelievable. Really appreciate that. Again, as I say, it's all about the community. So here we are, anyway, with another Super Nintendo video. And man, what a competition it was, Axelay. We had 16 participants in that game challenge, unbelievable, and it was so much fun. And this is what I love about it, is it gets you playing the games. I remember owning Axelay back in the day, but never got as far as I have done recently, so really chuffed that we did this game. But before we get into that, guys, and I will read out everybody's scores in this video, I've got some pickups. Some really cool ones, actually. Really nice to see some games I haven't got pop up on eBay. It just seems like the same old stuff turning up, and I guess that's because my collection is grown a bit in the last 2 years. Obviously, the games that I haven't got don't pop up at all. It's always the ones that I have got, you know, your Metroids and your Super Marios. So it's nice to see some games come up. In Europe, 2 in Europe, 1 in UK. This is a beautiful example of Return of the Jedi, a game that I've been looking for ages. I now have completed my Star Wars trilogy on the Super Nintendo, and what a fantastic box this is. It really is immaculate condition. Alright, it's got a label on the bottom there, but that will come off easy enough with a bit of label remover. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. I played it for about 5 or 10 minutes, and it's funny how it starts off with the kind of land speeder part where it's almost like Mario Kart. It's like a track and you've got to jump over the gaps in the track. I found it quite difficult, actually, because there's no fire. You just got to jump and throttle, and that's it. But interested to see what this is like, because I'm sure I remember back in the day the reviews for the later Star Wars games were a lot harder. So I'd be interested to see how this plays. But guys, honestly, it's absolutely in immaculate condition. And I can't remember what I paid for this now. The instruction booklet's got some creases at the bottom here. It's already got in my little baggie just to protect it, but I'm really chuffed with that. It's just got some creases down the bottom here. As I say, like, with collecting Super Nintendo games, because they're made out of cardboard, they've obviously taken more damage, more wear over the years than what Mega Drive games do. So it is hard to find really nice condition Super Nintendo games. And I think really you can't be that fussy when you're collecting for Super Nintendo. You've got to take a little bit of a compromise somewhere down the line, either it be the box or the manual, the car itself, and just upgrade as you go along. But I'm really chuffed with this, really pleased. So that finishes my Star Wars trilogy off. Really cool. Next up is Gods. Don't know anything about this game whatsoever. All I know is it's an Amiga port, and it's by the Bitmap brothers, which made some really cool games. And I've heard that this runs a little bit faster than the Amiga game. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. It's kind of like an action platformer. It's got some really cool Greek mythology artwork going on, and probably the gameplay is a bit like that as well. But yeah, it looks cool. It does look cool, and it's in good condition as well. Just have a look inside. I don't think I've even opened this up yet, because I haven't played it. It comes with a dust cart. Cart's in really good condition. So I haven't seen this one pop up in eBay for ages. The manual's not in great shape. Again, as I say, seems like you have to take a hit somewhere down the line. No artwork or screenshots in here. But yeah, still a very nice game to add to the collection. And I'm sure it's probably an above average game, is it? I'm not sure. It can't be that great. I would have known about it back in the day. But still, chuffed to get that. Next up is a game I've been looking for ages, guys. It's a game I used to have on my PAL system. And since I've started collecting for American NTSC, I haven't seen this come up at all. I've seen Japanese ones come up and they come up for what, 130, 150 quid, so it's quite a rare game on the Super Famicom region. It is Choplifter free, which is kind of like a Defender type game. Do you remember Defender in the arcade? So horizontal shooter left to right, and you've got to save the hostages or the people on the planet. Well, this is pretty the same, but obviously it's a war game and you're a helicopter and you've got to save the hostages. So you're in the middle of a war zone, you've got tanks shooting at you, you've got army guys coming down and parachute shooting you. Amongst all of that, you've got to rescue these hostages out of these houses. But before you rescue them, you've got to blow up the house that they're in, which is a bit strange, and then they all come out once it's blown up. I've played a little bit of it. It's really, really cool. I've heard there's some really cool end of level bosses in it as well. Whether this would make for a good game challenge, I'm not sure, because a lot of these Super Nintendo games I'm finding, they don't save the high score at the end. So you've got to be really quick with the camera just to get it out and take a picture of your score just before you die, which is not the best thing, is it? When you're trying to, you know, stay alive. But yeah, it's really, really cool. Completely different box art than the PAL version. But you know, guys, this game turned up in the most flimsy box I've ever seen, just wrapped in tissue paper. It was completely collapsed. Have a look at this box. Unbelievable. I mean, you know, who sends a Snes game in a box like that? So what happened, because it had crushed, this end bit here's got a big fold in it, so it's obviously it's been crushed at the end there. So I emailed the seller, I said, look, I'm not happy the way this has turned up, the way it's been packaged, and as a result, it's been really badly damaged. I want some sort of refund. He said, well, what do you want, 10%? Will that do? I said, no, not really. That doesn't really reflect in the damage. I said, I want 20%. So he agreed, actually. I was really polite and nice with him. I wasn't rude with him. I just said, look, mate, if you packaged it better, it wouldn't have happened. You know, you really do have to package these SNES games really well because they're so fragile. And he agreed to give me 20% back of the game. And I think I paid 40 quid for this, which is a bargain for Choplifter free. So in the end, I think I paid about 23 quid, 25 quid for this game, boxed, which is really cool. I've got the manual as well, which is on the floor, because I've already had it out. And the manual's in pretty good condition. Couple of little folds in there, but really chuffed to get that. It's a really cool game. If you like your kind of arcade shooters like Defender type thing, that is a really cool game. So really chuffed from that. 3 really unusual games that you don't see pop up very often for the American system. Really chuffed with that. Let's have a sip of my Coke, guys. As I say, you know, with collecting for the Mega Drive, I think the prices of Mega Drive games are cheaper in general because obviously the boxes are made of plastic. They're a little bit better preserved than the Super Nintendo games. But yeah, really chuffed to get. I don't know how many games I've got now. I'll have to have a count up, but I'm getting. I must have 250 box SNES games easily by now. But again, I'm not going for a complete boxed collection. I'm going for a lot of loose as well, especially with the sports games. I don't want like my whole wall filled with really crappy sports games, which I'll never play. So the games that I do like in my collection, I usually try and get boxed with a manual. Or if they come up really cheap, just like a loose cart, then I'll try and find the manual and the box later on, which I did with Pocky and Rocky 2. Pocky Rocky 2, I literally got this game together, really. I found the cart, then I found the box, then I found the manual, and I probably paid about 350 quid all in all for Pocky Rocky 2, which is a bargain. You know, I know there's some chances on there trying to sell it for like £1,000, but you won't see this less than 500 quid on eBay. No way. So if you can just be patient, and if you see a cart turn up relatively cheap, just buy it, guys. The manual will turn up and the box will turn up, even if you get a repro box. I'm not too fussed if I get a repro box, to be honest with you. At least I've got the original PCB in there. That's mainly what matters to me. I'm playing the original cart, you know, how it was meant to play, not emulation. There's nothing wrong with emulation. As a collector, I like the original cart, and if I can just sort of gather together the rest of it, I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? But that is a box complete Pocky Rocky 2 that I literally found in 3 parts. So there's a little tip for you guys, you know, just because you see just a manual on its own, just grab it. If it's cheap, grab it, and then the rest will come later. So anyway, let's get on to this week's game challenge, which was Axelay. Man, what a game. This was a game by Konami, came out in 92. And 92 had some really cool shoot-em-ups. You had Pocky Rocky, you had Super Aleste, Thunder Force for the Mega Drive, Biohazard Battle for the Mega Drive, R-Type Leo came out in the arcades. You had Rekka Summer Carnival for the NES, which is a fantastic shooter if you've never played that. Phalanx, Last Resort on the Neo Geo. So 92 was a great year for shoot-em-ups before it all went bullet hell. So yeah, Axelay had a lot of competition in 92, and that's a good thing. You know, out of competition comes great things. And Axelay is an awesome game, guys. It really is. Back in the day, I owned the cart, but I probably only got to the 2nd level. I don't remember getting any further than that. I don't know why. I don't know. It's different when you've got a competition. You're competing with each other. It just gets you going, gets your blood going. You're just like, I've got to beat his score. You know what I mean? Especially if they're mates. So let's just get into the game. I mean, the graphics, absolutely unbelievable. Especially on the first level, where you've got that kind of weird parallax scrolling that kind of tumbles. It gives that effect that you're moving forward. I've never seen that before. I've seen parallax scrolling in the background to give you depth of distance, but not to give you a sense of movement going forward. And I think the graphics are absolutely amazing. The parallax scrolling is absolutely incredible. The music on the first level as well, man, that tune just stayed with me. I had it in my head. I've still got it in my head. This tune, you know, it's just absolutely incredible. And the end of level boss, which was that spider thing. Do you remember the spider thing at the end? I really struggled at it to begin with, but then as soon as you learn the kind of patterns and where to sit in the game, you can literally just sit underneath it in the middle. And I usually use the big firepower, not the one that's spread it around like that. I can't remember what it's called. Just kept shooting in the middle and then just dodging the spider's bullets as they shot from every angle at the side. It was pretty easy, pretty damn easy, but what a cool boss. And you know, what I've noticed in this game is just so many different types of enemies. You know, it never gets boring. Level 2. This was a surprise. Suddenly it goes into a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. And again, absolutely awesome. Enemies coming out from every angle. You've got absolutely everything in that game. Honestly, it's so cool. And that end-of-level boss, that what do you call it? It's in here. It's the Ed 209 from Robocop. How cool is that? But that was the easiest boss out of the lot. He literally just had to sit at the top and just bomb the hell out of it. Dead easy. But if you don't know how, you wouldn't know where to sit. But man, that's such a cool boss. So much atmosphere in the game as well. Really love that. Then on to level 3, we had this kind of, again, parallax scrolling with looking over at a desert, and then you were sort of looking over a city. I noticed there was like a little Eiffel Tower as I was flying over the top. A little bit harder especially with the mid-bosses. There was this weird mid-boss that had, well, it was shaped like a letter H, and it came down, just kept getting crushed to the side. And every time I met it, it seemed to come from a different angle, so I wasn't quite sure how to approach that each time, but I did work out if you just sat at the bottom in the middle and just shot through the middle of the spaceship, you could destroy it fairly quickly. But that took me a while. Used to die a lot on that level. And then you had the kind of water level, the water stage. That was probably one of my favourites, actually. I just liked the fact that you could go underwater, and you had those huggers that sort of attached onto your ship that were kind of pulling you down. You had all sorts of weird, wonderful sea creatures coming at you. It was just a beautiful level with beautiful atmospheric music, and that end of level boss that kind of looked like an anglerfish. That was rock hard. That took quite a beating, actually. But again, I think I just bombed the hell out of that from above, and then just kind of crept down and shot it in the centre where you had to, the eye or whatever it was, and I destroyed it. That was my favourite level. And then you went on to another, what was it? Was it the lava level? It was the lava level next, wasn't it? Oh man, that end of level boss in the lava level, that's the one you see on the actual, where's the box? There it is. Let's get the box down. The lava level with this boss at the end. I always wanted to get to that boss. I always never seen the screenshots in Super Play magazine and thought, what would it be like to get to that boss? It looked absolute hell to deal with. And it wasn't too bad. You just had to position yourself right in the right place and shoot at his heart, and you could destroy it. But man, the graphics on that did see a little bit of slowdown on that level. I mean, obviously a lot going on. But what a fantastic level that was. It really, really was. And then the last level, I hope I haven't missed any out. I'm just looking through Super Play here. Just as reference, was again the horizontal shooting level, which was the last level, level 6, which I managed to get to all the way to the end and just found it absolutely mental. But man, I love the fact that you got really powered up with the first weapon and literally destroyed everything that was coming at you. But once you lost that, it was really difficult to get to the end of that level. But I mean, if you'd amassed enough lives, you could have got to the end of that level, no problem. I think that's the key. You have to be really good at the beginning. Don't lose any lives. Just accumulate as many lives as you can for that last level, and you probably could do it. So yeah, a fantastic game. And looking in Super Play, they reviewed it in issue 2, and they gave it 85%, which I think is pretty low. I reckon it definitely needs a 90%. But what they do say is it's a little bit short, because they've given it game life 79%. They've given it graphics 94, sound 90, gameplay 85. I think they could have given it more on the gameplay. The gameplay is absolutely amazing. But I do agree with them on the game life. It's a little bit short. But I think what they were trying to achieve with all the graphics, because it does look absolutely incredible, I think if you'd had another level, they might have had to sacrifice on something else in the game. So for me, I think it's perfect. You know, if you want to carry on, you can loop it, which I know one of the players did. He managed to loop the game, which is incredible. But yeah, I found it absolutely amazing. And again, yeah, Axelay in the Super Play magazine reviewed here at 85%, which is really cool. I'm just gonna get rid of the cat. I've got the cat in the room and he's bothering me. Hang on. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Bloody cat. So anyway, what I want to talk about was the controls. How did you find the controls? Because in the beginning, I found them quite awkward to deal with. Especially the middle weapon, where it kind of sprayed all around you. What I didn't realise is if you let go of the fire button, it automatically did it for you. What I was doing was reselecting the weapon. So it would start off and then it would do the spray. I didn't realise if you just let go of the fire button, it would spray all around you. Because you know at the beginning of the game, you get those enemies that circle all around you. I was getting killed by it every time. I wasn't killing them all. I thought there's got to be a way to do this. And someone just said, as I was doing the live feed, just take your finger off the button and you get all of them in one hit. So yeah, once you got hold of the controls, worked it out, the game became a lot easier, and I was switching between the two. So for the bigger bosses, I was using the main weapon, the main firepower, because I've just found it more direct. Especially we had a point on the end of level boss. You had to, like, the heart or the eye. You know, the spray was slightly off-centered, so you'd have to be off-centered to get it. So I was definitely swapping my weapons around, and I did find the second weapon the best, especially through the horizontal levels where enemies were above and below you. You could literally let go of the fire button and it would just spray like that all around you to get maximum score, or just destroy everything. And you know, I was finding I was getting an extra life on level 1 in the beginning because I was just destroying so much stuff. And I think you got an extra life every 30,000. But yeah, the controls, once you got the hang of them, really cool. That was probably what put me off in the beginning when I first got the game. It was just selecting the weapons. I'm used to, like, Gradius. You know, Gradius, you get one weapon, you get your upgrades as you go through the level. And of course, when you die, you lose everything. This is what I like about this game. You never lost anything. When you got hit, you'd lose a weapon, but you had 2 others to go back to. And then once you lost the other 2 weapons, then you die. Or if you hit a part of the environment, you would lose a spaceship. But at least you had a chance to just stay in the game. If you just got hit by a bullet, you just lose a weapon. So I thought that was really, really cool. And I love the weapon upgrades that you got through the stages as you progressed. I thought that was really cool. Especially the end of level. That firepower, that sort of laser weapon that just came all around you, destroyed everything. I thought that was awesome. So the controls, even though a little bit awkward to get to grips with, once you got the hang of them, I thought they were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So anyway, guys, let's get into the scores, because there's some amazing scores here. And we had, what, 17 participants. We had one guy who was a little bit late getting his scoring, so you're not on the table, mate. And that is Steve Roswell, who got 57,570. Good score, mate. Thanks for participating in the game challenge, but I can't add you on the list because you're late, even though I'm late getting this bloody video up. So at number 17, we had Jerry Levine, which I know is Ben. He got 29,440. Not a great score, Ben, but at least you took part, mate. Tony Breen, 57,300. I'd like to know what you're playing with, Tony. Are you playing with the pad or an arcade stick? And how far you got with the game and what you thought of it. Let me know in the comments below, mate. We had Gavin Kimpton with 60,840 at number 15. Sinisteve, we're into the 100,000s now. 112,430. Good score, Steve. I remember getting that quite a lot at the beginning. I was getting around 112, 120,000. And then it just clicked. Sean Tagg, who's got the Arcade Perfect podcast, I think it is, 114,000. Good score, Sean. At number 12, Retro Dave Nintendo, who's usually beating me at these games. You got 119,010. Good score, Dave. Thanks for jumping in there at the last minute and playing. At number 11, Paul Ball. Friend of mine I met last week down the pub, 119,250. Great score, mate. So they're all sort of the scores are around, I would say, level 2. You must have got to level 2, right? And that's about it. So the next jump at number 10 is Jimmy Retro, who's got his own YouTube channel. Really good. Go and check him out. I'll put a link in the video below. Really nice guy. 166,300. Jimmy, that is a great score, mate. Really, really good score. At number 9, we've got Ian Cullen's been following my channel for ages. Great score, Ian. 176,590. At number 8, Peter Squibb. 212,770. So we're into the 200,000s now. So I'm just trying to figure out where you... I bet you're on level 3 then. Did you get past level 3 with that score? At number 7, Super Quintendo, another really cool YouTube channel. I'll put a link to his channel below. I think he went on holiday because he stopped playing sort of last week. But I think he got his last scoring on the plane. So he must have been playing on the Switch, was you? But it's a really good score. 229,890. Great score there, Craig. At number 6 is me. So we had a massive jump from 229 to 525.80. So me at number 6, and I was at number 2 for ages, and I thought, I'm going to win this. I'm going to complete this. But then suddenly it all changed around in the second week, and then of course I had to go away, so I couldn't compete anymore. But I got, with that score, all the way to the end of level 6, right at the end of the game, just got demolished by the end of level boss. But I was really chuffed with that score, 525,000. And Dave Lightfoot is a friend of mine, managed to just clinch it, beat me with 561,000. So Dave, I don't think you finished it either with that score, because it seems like there's a big jump with scores once you finish the game, once you completed it. But Dave, awesome score at number 5, mate. Really, really good score. And then I can't believe this, Cybersnake 7. Jay, you beat me. Can't believe this, because I don't believe it now. He was saying to me, oh, I can't get to grip this great game. Just can't get to grips. I'm getting really fed up with it. And then all of a sudden, he just comes out with this score, 595,080. And he's at number 4. Jay, man, that is unbelievable. So I'm guessing, like me, you got all the way to the end of the game, got to the end of level boss and just got destroyed. But man, that is a fantastic score. And I reckon all of us there that got 500,000 got to that stage, and I reckon all of us could beat it easily if we just stuck at it, you know. So then we're into really massive scores now. This is the top 3, and I reckon all these guys finished the game. Damian Thomas, who I was competing with for quite a while in the first week. Amazing score, Damian. 718,000. Wow. So I reckon you completed it, and you probably looped it again, did you? I don't know. I don't know how much of a bonus you get for completing it, but I reckon you probably got halfway through the second loop with that score. Unbelievable. And then at number 2, RollerXcore. Awesome YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the video below to RollerXcore's YouTube channel. Man, you come out of nowhere, dude. You were the wild card. He got 1,008,000. Wow, that's incredible. So I reckon you've looped that easily. Easily looped it. You must have looped it twice to get that score. That is unbelievable. But at number 1, and I knew this guy would be number 1 because I've actually seen him loop this game, finish this game at a meet that I was at, is Jonathan Town with 1,754,280. Jonathan Town, unbelievable score. And since I've been chatting to him on my Facebook page, which is Ninty Arcade, guys, he's been telling us on there, he's actually looped it about 4 or 5 times on hard, which is absolutely incredible. He's obviously a proper gamer, a proper shoot 'em up player. That is an awesome score. I don't think I'll ever beat that, but I will definitely finish this game. It's definitely a game I'm always going to go back to and play. Really, really enjoyed it. Look at the graphics, guys. Who says a Super Nintendo doesn't do shoot 'em ups? This is a fine example of one of the best shoot 'em ups around from that era, I reckon, without a doubt. It's awesome. Music, gameplay, graphics, unbelievable. So guys, thanks for joining in. It was absolutely brilliant. Now guys, if you want to join in with this week's competition, which is going to be Contra 3, a completely different game, not a shoot 'em up. This is a side-scrolling action run and gun game. We're going to have it on easy, standard 3 lives, no continues. Okay, no continues, because it is just for fun. If you lose all your lives, you have to start right back from the beginning again. Okay, brilliant game. A game that I've managed to get halfway through back in the day. I'm really looking forward to jumping back in this and trying to finish this as well. It is a classic Super Nintendo game. I think we should all play. Again, you've got just under 2 weeks to get your scores in and, you know, get your high scores up. You can either email me at nintendoarcade@yahoo.co.uk or go on my Facebook page, which is Ninty Arcade, and just join in with the banter and just put your scores up there. I do need a screenshot, guys, and you know, I know I've got a lot of friends that WhatsApp me their scores. It's really difficult for me to gather all the scores up when they're in so many different places. So if you could either just email me your score or just put it on Facebook. I know you want to chat, but it's difficult for me and I might forget your score because they're just everywhere. So it's a lot easier if you just email me at nintendoarcade@yahoo.co.uk or just go on my Facebook page, Ninty Arcade. Put your score up there, just join in the chat there. It's a lot easier than finding your scores all spread out all over the place. Just helps me out, okay? So join in the challenge. Come on, get playing this awesome game, Contra free. And then you know what I'm going to do in the future is swap it around. So 1 week Super Nintendo game, the next week a Mega Drive game. So we're going to swap it around because it is hard to find games to do high score challenge just because not all of the games have a table or freeze your high score on the screen for me to take a picture of. So I'm going to swap it around a bit, get more people involved as well. But yeah, this week's game is Contra free. Get playing, guys. It's awesome. And I'll see you on in 2 weeks' time in the next Super Nintendo video. I will have a video at the end of this week though, and it's going to be an NES and arcade one, so look out for that. Until then, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.